It is the simplest bond of two of the most common elements in the universe, and one of the most prevalent organic compounds on the Earth. It has existed since life first formed on this planet. The substance is methane. You can't see it, smell it, or taste it. But recent ways of harnessing it are helping lead the way toward America's energy independence.
Electricity didn't come here into our rural areas until the late 30s. And it was at that time, after we had electricity at the farms, that then we could begin looking at the deep wells, or the wells that go into the aquifers. And a cousin, he had drilled a well. He lit a match for something while the faucet was running, and the faucet caught on fire. Well, we were all aghast at that. Now, it wasn't like a blowtorch, it was just a flickering flame, and you turned the faucet out and it was gone. And in talking with his daughter afterwards, I found that they drilled another well in 1975 and that had methane in it too. And that was long before the gas companies came here to drill.
Methane, where did it come from, and how did it get deep in the Earth's crust? Three leading geologic experts have gathered to explain these questions.
You know, any place in the world that has organic matter in rocks, such as the type of organic matter that we see here, and those rocks have been subjected to a certain range of temperatures and pressures. The range of temperatures is anywhere from about 90 degrees centigrade through a temperature of somewhere on the order of 150 degrees centigrade with organic matter in, which is very, very common. That area is going to have methane throughout the section. People that drill water wells are going to be drilling into this stuff.
Hi, my name is Kristen Hand. I work for the Pennsylvania Geological Survey. We get to spend every day out in the field, even the rainy days and the snowy days, but we get to be out in the field looking at the rocks of Pennsylvania. These rocks that I have in front of me, near and dear to my heart. I spent a month drilling these rocks in Bradford County. We were able to drill a core hole that went 1,664 feet into the ground, which is a really deep hole. Sometimes you can find methane in different locations as you go down the core. What we're looking for in this section is just these areas where plants had built up along the delta as these rocks were being deposited that are a source of potential methane.
Methane is the simplest hydrocarbon that you can create. It's easily formed. It's carbon and 4 hydrogen molecules. The fact that we have methane in this shallow system is really no surprise. We've known that for years. Well over 2,000 data points show that that's in fact what we have. We have this very thermogenic gas in the aquifer system. It's there by nature. If we were able to slice this rock and other rocks like it to a thin section, what we would see also in the pore space is more organic matter trapped inside the pore space, and that organic matter yields methane.
So, thermogenic methane that we come in contact with is being created at relatively shallower depths in various rock formations, and it's finding its way into our water naturally.
My name is Brian Oram. I'm a licensed professional geologist, soil scientist, and in the state of Pennsylvania. We're blessed in Pennsylvania we have plenty of water. One of the things we've been doing for 23 years is work with private well owners throughout, not just Pennsylvania, but throughout the country. And in general, about half of private wells are impacted, have poor water quality, and the primary impact is bacteria. The next one for Pennsylvania, probably the most common, would be iron and manganese, you know, where the water turns red or black. And to a less extent, we have arsenic issues, intermittent throughout the region. And I think one of the most critical issues that we're just finding out about, private wells have problems right now with methane and saline water.
In a Penn State study of the Marcellus Shale region, it was found that methane was detectable in 25% of private water wells.
One of the issues is that some private wells are just drilled too deep. And these wells, when they're drilled, have maybe only 20, 30 feet of cement, and the rest of the borehole, hundreds of feet, is an open borehole. So now we've created that conduit that never existed before of the aquitard or confining layers that naturally existed, and allows that free migration of saline water and methane from that private well to surrounding other private wells. Again, part of the problem is Pennsylvania has no private well construction standards. We don't even know what these private wells are, and we have no idea of the quality of them or how deep they are. It had nothing to do with oil and gas development in Pennsylvania.
You may have heard of the Marcellus Shale. It's a formation of sedimentary rock 600 miles wide. Locked in it is estimated to be over 350 trillion cubic feet of methane gas. For decades, geologists have been perfecting production techniques, such as horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracturing, to release the gas for commercial, manufacturing, home heating and energy, and many other uses. Some have wondered if producing natural gas from the Marcellus is introducing more methane into our landscape and aquifers. But geological experts know that's not the case.
The gas in the Marcellus is overpressured. It's high pressure, and it's been in there for at least 250 million years. Now think about this. If 1/250 millionth of the gas that was in Marcellus leaked each year, there'd be none there now. So that Marcellus is not leaking. It's not leaking at all. Now, what also happened way back 250 million years ago is that you flooded the stratigraphy with gas. Thousands, millions of little tiny gas pockets. And when you have groundwater flowing through this, the groundwater will dissolve some of that gas. In all of these areas where we have hydrocarbons matured, we've always flooded the subsurface with methane. When you and I die and are planted, we will flood the subsurface with methane.
In Pennsylvania, there are no water well standards, unfortunately, for well construction, but there's more attention, maybe for the folks to understand their water quality a little bit better.
Brian Oram is taking us to meet one of his colleagues in the water well drilling business.
Good to see you.
Nice seeing you, Brian.
What are the kind of the problems that when we're out here drilling private wells have you seen?
Well, I've seen everything. I mean, I've seen from casing rotted off on top of the ground to wells drilled too deep, not enough casing in the wells, to just everything you could imagine.
So what do we have here, Greg?
Well, we have 4 different casings that can be used in the state of Pennsylvania, which is a 17-pound pipe, which is pretty heavy. This can be used for a residential well.
And that's the way you do it, right?
That is the recommended way that I would do it, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Then there's no standards for that.
There's no, you don't have to use 17-pound pipe. You can use 15-pound pipe, you can use 13-pound, and you can also use PVC.
There's people that actually use PVC pipe.
Yes.
How do you hammer on PVC pipe?
It's impossible. You cannot do it.
But the best way to do it is like you do it.
Absolutely.
Use the stronger casing.
You start with doing it right the first time, and it lasts for years.
This is the way, a mock-up of how the natural gas wells are being drilled, where we have multiple layers of casing and cement. So basically taking the private well, going to a commercial well, and then putting a commercial well on steroids and creating multiple barriers.
Right. I mean, this is really unbelievable.
How does that steel casing look like it compares to what's used in private wells or even commercial wells?
I mean, it's really heavy duty. It's impressive.
Natural gas wells are required by state regulation to be installed with multiple layers of steel casing, each of which is sealed off from the others and the surrounding geology using specially designed high-performance cement. Each casing layer is installed to an incrementally deeper length and individually cemented to isolate the inner wellbore from the surrounding rock. The final layer extends to the toe of the well. Measurements are taken within the wellbore to verify the cement is performing as intended. These multiple layers of cement and steel casings are added to protect groundwater and aquifers.
A lot of folks, for the first time ever, they're finding out about their water quality. We've had people tell us, oh, that's why my water, when I turn on the faucet, spurts and surges a little bit with air surges. It's because the methane's coming out of solution. And they never knew that before because there's no harm associated with it. There's no sickness that they have by drinking that water.
This is probably, to me, one of the most beautiful areas I've ever seen, and I've been so happy that I've been blessed to live in this part of the country.
Methane has always been a part of life in this area. It is being created by organic material captured in rocks as they were forming hundreds of millions of years ago. Through cracks in conduits, methane regularly finds its way into the groundwater and eventually into our water supply. Thousands of feet down, the natural gas in the Marcellus Shale is securely locked away, waiting to be brought safely to the surface and used to further America's energy independence. It strengthens our communities, provides opportunities for jobs, and produces the energy we need today to develop the energy we use tomorrow. Methane is a colorless and odorless gas that may accumulate undetected in water well bores, water well enclosures, basements, and other structures. These conditions could lead to an explosion if not adequately addressed. While there are no water well standards in Pennsylvania, the state DEP strongly recommends venting as an inexpensive and effective way to prevent methane accumulation. Proper venting eliminates the potential for methane gas to seep from water wells into homes or structures. For more detailed information and instructions, visit the website at the bottom of the screen.